So this relay, I'm gonna review a stand-up comic, right, and talk a little bit about the feeds. We might surf the feeds for a little bit, right? So this is my X feed. My X feed is mostly my political feed, and the reason it matters is because it is one of the places where, how do I put this? You're reaching close. You're reaching into social circles where actual high level conversations are having, right? Even if you're not talking directly to the people having those conversations, they're in these feeds floating around. Like senators and shit are like talking shit, like Trump's gay, but they're in the comments, right? And so it's one of the best places to have an effect and to point out things for everybody. And but so this is comedy right here. I'm gonna respond to this as the American would respond to it, right? Which is, here we go.
Why do you need to starve 2.2 million people?
So everyone seems to forget American culture stems from multi-generational warfare, right? Like, yeah, everywhere's been at war, but we've been in every war, right? Uh, and it's not that, like, how do I put this? It just is what it is, right? And so the idea of starving 2.2 million people is like, of course we wouldn't want to starve 2.2 million people, unless those people were actively running a con game to try and kill us all. At which point we'll go ahead and starve you. If all starving you is not helping you anymore, well, there's no reason we shouldn't let you drown. Really, no reason. Like, why not? Why not starve 2.2 million people? If they're smart people, they won't starve. I've been honest with you my whole life. I haven't starved. They're gonna starve? Are they totally dependent on a bullshit system where we mail all our food to them? The priest class makes goy slop, barely feeds them, then mails our own shit back to us, burning up the whole entire fucking world? So these guys can make cheap shirts for Nike? Just ridiculous.
Why? I have yet to hear a logical reason that is not just flat out genocidal. There's only
Oh, the logical reason, right? That's the logical reason. I just explained it actually, right? On accident. Just point out what was happening, right? The reason India has food issues is because the Indian leadership is basically a cargo cult holding its own people hostage to preserve a 14th century caste system, and they're engaged in massive amounts of human predation to do it. So, and their threat to us is if we don't keep letting them just do whatever they want and fuck up the entire world to create ghettos so they can live like sheiks, or they're gonna murder all these people they've bred over 10 generations who are basically retarded, who they're about to import to our shores and tell these people in their language who do not speak English that they've conquered America and they can just do whatever they want anyway, just like happened in Europe. Right. So their threat is they're gonna starve to death 2.2 million of their own soldiers. Oh, okay, that's fine. But you see, this guy, he's supposed to be a prince. He needs these soldiers, right? So he can start like picking his chunk of the American domain.
only one logical reason that you could actually give is that we can't send all of the appropriate amount of food into Gaza because if we do, Hamas is going to eat it all.
Well, no, it's not that, like, I put this. It's not that
they're going to literally eat all.
It's not that Hamas is eating everything. Is that the priest class or the economic high level class takes all the food, takes a little bit, feeds starvation ration to the slaves, and then repackages our own food and sends it back to us at an upcharge. Right? So if we were sending them food and it was actually doing good things and like getting people strength and like and there were programs to like help them terraform or permaculture their own world, it would be awesome. But that's not what's happening at all. They're just taking our shit, repackaging it, and selling it back to us at an extreme cost to the earth. And so they're literally getting rich off our own charity. So we're paying them. So they're ripping off the starving people in their own country who they plan on using as soldiers against us to sell our own shit back to us. Why the fuck wouldn't we let them starve? Why wouldn't we let them starve? Just, like, obvious.
All of the food, and they're gonna weight train, and they're gonna get really swole. They're gonna get really, really swole, and we can't have that because Hamas be lifting. Do you even lift, bro? Hamas do. That's the only logical reason that Hamas is eating, and it's swimsuit season's coming up, and you don't want that.
Ugh, just got pushed. I don't really like memes. This is just bullshit, right? So this is just some bullshit. The reason all these deportations and targets are happening by is because of shit like this, which I'll show you. So this is, who knows, but it's just a video. There's a million live a million videos of this. That's the picture, but I'm sure it'll show up. And this is the behavior that everyone is irritated with, right? I'll find it right here. It's not that. That's just basic racist shit. I don't like basic racist shit. We're looking at the targeted shit. Oh, here's India surrendering, right? So India, no shit, is surrendering because they went to bomb their own fucking
called
people. They went
the
to bomb
Director
their own
General.
slaves to pull on our heartstrings, and Russia already had drone defense weaponry in there. And one thing to consider is they might have been bombing female compounds or attempting to, i.e., Palestine, Israel. We don't know, right? You have to understand the leadership of Pakistan and the leadership of India both have a massive slave caste because they're practicing these types of philosophies. And they collude together to kill their own slaves off to keep us involved in their country and keep us feeding their system, which is a system of totalitarian enslavement behind a smiley face of, oh, everyone just do whatever they want, right? And so we called their bluff. We'll let India, they said they're going to nuke each other. Okay, fine, do it. And they didn't have any nukes. They just had conventional warheads because their entire nuclear capability came from the blackmail of the American politician, not from their own technological advancement. So we called their bluff. They used their conventional weapons to blow up whoever their hostages were. It didn't work in India because Russia or China, or whoever's in charge of the drones, had moved a drone defense force in there, and it just smoked all those munitions, right? Because they have relied so heavily as a culture on blackmail and misdirection that they very don't have shit for weapons in reality, and they don't have nukes, and now they have to surrender because they don't got shit. All they have is a bunch of starving slaves who they've been ripping off. They've been ripping off their own fucking people, and they've been using us to do it and hide behind us as a shield to do it. And so yeah, fuck them. I don't know who that dude is. I don't want to talk about it. Boring, boring. Some fight. Who cares? Who cares? Oh, this is the video. Yeah, so check this out. Look, this is what's going on, guys. This is happening around the country. Look. Kid walks away, doesn't want to fight. That kid punches him. He goes to fight him. Whatever. Right? And then homie comes up and swipes him. I mean, that's a good lesson to the white kid, but they're targeting white kids all over the country like this from the age of 11. Right? They're just and that's why, and on that note, it's because they're practicing a covert race war. The children are, right, and the parents aren't checking them, so their parents have to be in on it, right? If the parents are not checking their children's committing a covert race war where a foreign Indian country is literally using your children to crowdfund hits on white children, well, you got to be in on it at that point. And this leaves us all in a very difficult situation, right? And so that's why the South Africans they're real refugees because they're in a primarily black country. There's a real good chance that when this information goes viral and America starts cleaning up its streets of this covert attack of behavior, covert attack against the American people through uh, the grooming of gang tactics and childhood racism into a black populace. Well, when we stop it here, they're going to do the same thing Indians does. They'll be like, well, if you don't let us keep fucking your kids over, we're going to kill all these white people in South Africa. To which the American response has been like, well, the white people in South Africa better get the fuck over here real quick because we are going to deal with this. And so everyone needs to understand what's happening, right? And maybe your kid's not one of these kids, whatever. The fact is, this is not this there's 1 bajillion examples of this fucking happening. The Chinese people are singing Hitler songs right now, right? There's literally a Chinese girl on TikTok who doesn't speak a lick of fucking English, but because China is having under the same attack now, which I showed in Relay 18 and 16, and they are picked up on it quicker because they're more digitally astute. They're way, way more over it than us, right? And so it's just like, yeah, bro, this is ridiculous. You're not going to come into our country and pretend to be victims and then be abusing women and children covertly behind closed doors. You're not going to be doing that, guys. That's not. This is not an American thing. This is they should have a kumata or this race based extermination and coercion when you have like just slightly more numbers is just basically takia. And the more I see, the more this seems like a genetic predisposition. Although, thankfully, I've been in the South and I've met a lot of black dudes in the South, and they've put to rest my mind that people cannot adapt. But a false adaptation to a fake American ideal of oh just sit there and take it is not what we want in this country, right? Ideally, I feel like children, like all of them, should be armed by now and trained to formally declare duels and like let the cops know so the cops oversee and then they each get one bullet or something like that, right? Like because we might have a massive excess populace um, because of all the woman genocide because of abortion. So if these guys are gonna fight, we gotta make it fair. The only way to make everything fair for everybody is give everyone a gun and a bullet, basically, right? So that should be part of like school. That should be part of high school. Conceal and carry permit, how to murder a human, and anything else for being a dick, for having rabies, should be part of the high school curriculum. Is how I feel. Let's see. What's this guy? Yes, the Indian Sheik class is pissed. They can't do anything. They are actually, in reality, fucked. If they do not pull their shit together, China will likely deploy drones to wipe out their leadership, and then China will provide humanitarian aid. There is no reason for us to provide humanitarian aid or really even be active in that part of the country because we might not have the moral fortitude to do what's necessary because we have not been getting victimized by their behaviors like China has. You have to understand, for the last 4 generations, before we had digital translators and stuff, we were relying on neutral country translators. And the thing about a neutral country translator is they're not never really neutral. So the American could go to the Chinese, the American general can go to the Chinese general, and they can be like, "Hey, man, we don't want any problems. We're seeing these problems in the world, and we really want to work together on this." To which and they'll tell the Indian translator or the Jewish translator, and then they'll go to the Chinese guy once again and be like, or the Chinese general, and be like, America says if you don't do what we want and do what we say, they're going to nuke you, right? And then they portray their own, and then that's it. That's basically all that's really been happening. But now they have programs that can translate what people say, and you can have people outside observe conversations and see if the translator is actually doing his job appropriately or if he's being a piece of shit. Now ground forces in foreign countries like Afghanistan don't even need a translator. They have handy dandy earbuds and a cell phone that can do all the translating without any pesky errors from self-interested uh, self-interested Hindus or Islamists or Jewish people, right? Just a nice, honest, straightforward, exactly how you mean to say it, and you can make it sound as happy or threatening as you want. And it generally just sounds like a robot, so it doesn't tip anybody off, you know. So this game really is at an end, and it's just sad that it got this far, where we're gonna see well, I don't know. I'm gonna have a good time. A lot of people are gonna have a good time. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but it's just yeah, it's just yeah, maybe they are. They might actually be a fascist and a Nazi, but it really doesn't fucking matter because everyone at the not everyone, the people at the true America is ruled by intelligence, basically, right? The real situation is America is ruled by the militarized male at all times, no matter what. And the militarized male is doing their own fucking thing and taking care of their own shit and doesn't have time to care about world politics, and that's why they have the government. Because the militarized male does not want to be come under attack in their own home. And that's happening. And so now they're all waking up and talking to each other and figuring it out, and people are going to addresses because everyone's fucking addresses on the internet. And this is America. There's 10,000 guns in America. It's not just that there's 10,000 guns. People in America know how to make a gun from 2 pieces of pipe and a nail because we're Americans. And anyone who doesn't understand how to do that is not an American. You're just not smart enough yet, right? And maybe it's just a matter of training or whatever. But if you can't master the skill, or if you don't understand the necessity in curing rabies, like you guys want to be American, like if you don't understand what being American is, you need to watch the movies. You need to watch Old Yeller, right? Before Disney went bad, right? That's how they sold it on us. They came in like, look, we're gonna keep your culture alive. We'll have all this cool shit, and then did some sneaky shit, and eventually, and then change our culture, right? That's always we're gonna help you, but they're never there to help you. They just you know. But so Old Yeller is actually good though. That's a really good one. Um, Western music's pretty good if it's from the right era. Louis L'Amour books are good. But it's really just this idea. You just really got to understand the Bill of Rights and the idea of native law and the idea that like there are just certain natural constants, and it's smart to write those natural constants in the law. Like for example, you have the right to defend yourself to the best of your capabilities, whether that is cause or intellect, right? And different tools might be better in different situations, right? And that's just if a man has a lot of intelligence but no gun, and he meets a cougar in the middle of the woods who is hungry, well, that intellect in that moment is not going to matter very much, is it? But if that cougar jumps the wrong dude, and this dude was smart enough to bring a gun with him, then the cougar read the situation wrong, right? But it's always a contest of individuals, ultimately. But the real situation is it has to be a what do you call it? People can't be greedy in a world in a contest of individuals. There's no place for greed, because if it was a fair contest of individuals, no one would want to be greedy because you couldn't afford 25 fucking duels a day, because everyone whose wife you fucked only wants to shoot you once. You'd have to shoot all 25 of those motherfuckers, right? If they knew it was going on. So the covert harem situation really needs to just get fucked, so we can stop collapsing the whole natural world. And if a bunch of fucking Indians starve to death in Pakistan, well, they should lynch their leaders, because that's whose fault it was, and that's all there is. And that's all there is to it.